Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring my weekly review of The Walking Dead on AMC. This week we've seen season 7, episode 11, which is called Hostiles and Calamities. I know this review is a little bit later than usual, and yes, I did work Sunday, but usually I tend to get to The Walking Dead a little bit quicker than Wednesday. But to be honest, I really wasn't that enthused about the show this week. It's been a pretty fun second half so far. And we had a couple really good episodes in the first half too. But overall, I just haven't been that enthused about the show this season, and it's just felt really dry to me lately. I don't know what it is exactly. And a lot of people hated this episode. They're really complaining left and right. And while it is kind of obvious, it is sort of a filler, episode meant to sort of pad out the season a little bit more, so I don't have to get into all-out war, too quickly now. It is a bit frustrating that we just got to focus on Eugene out of the sanctuary and stuff. Even with Negan included, it's a little bit annoying, even for me. That's the only real annoying thing to me, is that the season's being padded out so much. It's not that there's not enough action. I don't need action, like a massive walker or shootout sequence every episode or something. I honestly think people need to have bigger attention spans, or they're watching the wrong show. They're not watching the Resident Evil movies, or Z Nation or something like that. I don't know. But Z Nation has good merits on its own, so don't get that confused. But so it's not because of the lack of action that I was so disinterested in this episode. It's because, again, the character focused on one location. It's just obvious they're trying to space out the season as much as they can. But this wasn't necessarily a bad episode either. I didn't hate it. I didn't completely dislike it. I liked it. I thought it was fine, but that's about it. Just fine. It was all right. Of course, the setup is obvious. We have Eugene at the sanctuary. He's pretty horrified and scared, as he should be. But of course, Negan, he sees that he's a smarty pants. So they're going to make use of him. So they actually treat him well. They give him a pretty decent room, and he actually has some control there. As far as getting what supplies he wants and stuff like that. And eventually it seems like he starts to come around to the whole setup a little bit. I still feel like Eugene's going to set Negan up in the Savior somehow, and of course help out our group again at some point. But just the way he is still somewhat of a coward. So until then, he's just going to survive however he can, and he's going to take advantage of what they're giving him, I think. So that stuff is okay. We get some fun scenes with some of Negan's wives visiting him. Eugene's supposed to entertain him and stuff like that. No sex, of course, no touching. But eventually they also want him to poison Negan, as well as giving a pill to a girl so she can commit suicide. He doesn't really go for that though, and he admits, he is indeed a coward. So that stuff is pretty fun. Eugene's a fine character, and he's come a ways since we first met him. I think Josh McDermott does a solid job playing him, but I don't think we could go another episode just focusing on him. We did get some good Dwight stuff in this episode too. Of course, he discovers that Daryl has escaped, and of course, he's to blame for that, because he was the one Negan put sort of to focus on it. And, when he finds Fat Joey dead, he's panicking, running all over the place. And, of course, he gets beaten down by Negan and some of his men. And then we also find out that Sherry has left as well. And it becomes clear that, she is the one who left the note and gave Daryl the opening to escape when he did. And she's nowhere to be found. Dwight is sent to look for her, but he doesn't find her. But he later says that, she was eaten alive by some walkers when she ran from them. But he goes back to their old house, which is where they agreed to meet up before. She left him a note. Blaming herself, for what Dwight's become, because old Dwight wouldn't have allowed for any of this. He allowed himself to become the kind of person he is now, and she admits it to being her fault, but at the same time she can't love the person he is now. he's given in to everything, and it is partially her fault, but she still can't, deal with it, I guess. Can't deal with seeing him like that. So that stuff was, pretty good. That did sort of affect me a little bit. I thought it was well worked for, what it was. And they are trying to make us feel sympathetic towards Dwight. Austin Emilio does a pretty good job. But of course, he puts the blame on Dr. Carson, and Negan kills one of the doctors, which isn't something you want to do in a zombie apocalypse, but, he has the other guy at the hilltop, I guess, he could just take and use primarily at the sanctuary if he wanted. And Dr. Carson just gets thrown to this, the whole, I forget what it's called for some reason, but the whole, not the kiln, but the fire pit, basically. I'll just say that. So that was pretty good. And it was also entertaining seeing Negan entertained by the way Eugene would talk and the way he would come up with things and such, like their problem with the walkers just rotting and falling off their fencing and stuff. So I like that. But yeah, overall, this is a pretty good episode. I wouldn't say it was a great episode or anything. Like I said, it was just alright, just fine. But at the same time, I don't think it's the worst we've gotten this season either. I liked it quite a bit more than episodes like Go-Getters and things like that. I'm going to rate this one an 8.2, 8.3 out of 10. And you'll say, oh, but Jacob, you rated Go-Getters and a few others, quite a bit higher, but you say you didn't. You say you kind of like this one. Since then, I've just, my rating system has just gotten a little bit more strict, a little bit tougher. I've been trying to be a little more, specific with how I rate certain things. So, although I like this episode more than things like Go-Getters, it's just lower because my rating system has gotten a little bit more difficult, I guess you could say. But I'd rate this one an 8.3, maybe. I could nudge it to an 8.4. Let me know what you guys thought about this one. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys a little bit later for my review of The 100. And peace.